Hi everyone. This podcast today is really looking at the whole area of Asperger syndrome. What do we mean by Asperger syndrome, and how do you know whether you're struggling with it in different areas of your life? Well, we're told that Asperger is a form of autism and affects how a person sees the world around them. As with all forms of autism, each person is affected differently, but there are similarities in people's behaviour patterns. Those who are struggling with this condition are often considered to be above average intelligence, but mixing with others tends to be particularly difficult for those of you who are struggling with this Asperger condition, because you find it perhaps very difficult to interpret other people's behaviour through what they say and what they do. So how would you know if you have some form of Asperger? Well, the way that Asperger shows itself will vary from one person to another, but there are signs that may identify Asperger through people's behaviour. For instance, people will have a strong desire for routines and rules, and without those they become very easily distressed in their life. But they have also very high levels of anxiety that may present itself in a variety of ways, and these may include the way they behave when with other people. They get very easily frustrated, angry and aggressive at times, and they don't realise why. And often they feel very embarrassed and guilty about this and would like to do something about it, but they don't know how. They have difficulty in building relationships with their friends and relating to other people, so often they prefer to be alone. And they have difficulty understanding other people's behaviour. As we've said, they may have difficulty taking part in particular games, social activities, especially when it comes to using their imagination. They struggle with this. But they have a particular intense obsession with particular interests of certain topics in their life. But they also struggle with showing some compassion and empathy towards other people. And if we look particularly at young people's behaviour, growing up in that difficult time between being a child and being a teenager and being seen as a young adult, it's a time of physical and emotional change, and perhaps many of you are realising that you're going through this and how it's affecting you. So it's a whole range of feelings and emotions that are a real challenge to you. Your friendships and relationships with others are quite important to you at this time. And if you are struggling with some form of Asperger, then it creates more of a challenge to you compared to other people in terms of your relationship building with people, because there's feelings of increased stress and anxiety that can lead to some forms of depression as a result of this anxiety and stress. And you find yourself, as I've said, getting more angry, frustrated and behavingly aggressive towards other people more than you see other people doing. And during this period in your life, a sense of belonging to a particular group is very important. And so this is a real challenge for you, and it's very confusing. And struggling with this Asperger can restrict you if you're not able to manage these thoughts and feelings that are often very difficult. And you may find yourself becoming very isolated, misunderstood, labelled or marginalised by other people. So there's a feeling of rejection as well which is not very pleasant to experience. So how does Asperger behaviour affect your leisure time? And you may have set ways of enjoying activities, but you may need some help to develop new hobbies because you struggle with this. Because there are times when you struggle to be motivated by the activities that you enjoy, that you see your friends and others not having any problems with. And you're very vulnerable in terms of feeling very overloaded with too many people's demands on you and too many choices at any one time in your life. So this makes it a real difficulty in being able to manage your leisure activities, because you find yourself struggling to commit to activities that you know others are able to continue with and have no problem about. So as a result, you lose interest very quickly compared to others. And you struggle very much with your imagination. You find it difficult to use your imagination to help you get through your daily life. So you require activities which are easily managed, where you're able to enjoy small detail, to be able to fix things, to make sense of this, and to feel more control in your life. And it's very important for you to feel that the activities and the things you do and say are of value and make sense to other people. And you often struggle with needing support to be able to get on with other people, but you don't know where to find this support and this help, because you struggle with making sense of society's rules and behaviour, on why they make sense to other people and why they become easily understood and accepted. But for you, in the world you live and imagine, it's very hard for you to understand that. So any leisure environment that you find yourself involved with, you feel it's important to have some safety checks, because you don't often see the danger that other people see. So you need the support from other people in order to enjoy and get involved in a lot of your leisure time. And it's very easy when you're struggling with this Asperger condition to feel, I think I'll just keep myself to myself and I'll just become isolated and withdrawn. And then, of course, you're very much open to a lot of depression, which isn't good for anyone. So any activity needs to keep you motivated. And often you do enjoy a lot of movement, jumping, swinging activities, because you find they do help you calm down, and they do help you with some regular daily exercise, and they also give you a lot of stimulation. But you need someone to support you and help you to be consistent with this. So any familiar places you go and activities you get involved with, as you become more familiar with them, it helps you to relax enough to engage in the activities, and with the support of other people, you find yourself able to commit to them, which on your own you find very, very difficult. So how can you help yourself if you feel that you are struggling with Asperger? Well, you need to have some control in your life in the way of organising, laying out what's familiar to you, like your new room at home or any new environment which needs to help you to feel safe and calm. And that might be school, home, a leisure place. It can be anything. But you need to be able to feel safe and calm there in order for you to be able to feel more in control in your life. And you need some clear routine, structure to any new activities that you involve yourself in. These activities must be calm and they must fit in with your new routine, because this will help you to control the stresses that often build up because of the Asperger condition that you find yourself having to live with. So calming routines and letting off steam in your daily routine life is very important to keep the stress levels down. So getting used to new situations with the support of others is very important to manage your condition. Constant routines will help you feel more self-control. So how can counselling help you with your Asperger condition? Well, counselling can help you build some flexibility in your life and help you express feelings and emotions in creative and safe ways that you're unable to do on your own. And it can help you plan a lot of your free time and have some structure to your week. Because people with Asperger do not often cope with unplanned time. They have to feel in control by knowing what's going on and familiarise themselves by regular routines. So a counsellor can help you keep a diary, especially of challenging situations, to help you identify what we call the triggers that create the stress and anxiety during these times. So people with Asperger thrive on routine. In other words, it helps them to feel more in control of their life. But you have to get the balance right, and counsellors can help you with that, especially with work-life balance. That means work time and time out of work, so that you can cope with the stress and levels of anxiety whether you're working or whether you're not. And you might have a stressful day at school, college or work, so some planning and thought in using this time in helping you manage the stress and anxiety is very important, and counselling can help you with that. So we've said that it can help you with managing the triggers, in understanding what causes the stress, worry, anxiety, because often your Asperger, and when you get into your routines where you feel in control, often you feel that life interrupts that routine, because it might be things like you feel overwhelmed by people's demands on you, or some people find things like light and sound affects them and really creates stress and triggers their anxiety. So that needs to be observed and sensitively watched. And perhaps you're trying to deal and relate to too many people at once instead of being able to focus on one person at a time. And in a demanding situation at school, college or university, this can be difficult, especially when you feel alone and other people don't understand you and there's nobody around to ask for help. And many of these changes can often lead to stress and trigger difficulties, especially when you're experiencing quite a lot of change in your life, perhaps from school to college, from college to work, can bring a lot of changes very quickly, which can enable these issues to grow and escalate. So we've said that counselling can help you deal with stress, dealing with other people's behaviour, especially if they're stressed, and help you manage your anxiety throughout the day, and to be aware of how it's building up and why it's building up for you, both in your body and also some of the negative thinking that is part of that. helping you to be more aware of what we call the signs, the warnings of the stresses, so that they don't become such a problem that you feel completely unable to face life and you go into isolation. We don't want you to end up in that very dark, difficult place. So helping you with your planning and setting some achievable goals to cope with living with Asperger is very important. And it might include sessions in the counselling where you're able to talk about your struggles by using perhaps some visual aids to help you express some of these feelings and thoughts that you often find very difficult. For instance, some people find using stories or cartoon pictures or clay or sand or painting to express how Asperger is affecting their life and how it feels to have these difficult emotions and stresses, and also the anxiety, what it looks like and how it can be managed. So finally, how do we summarise this whole problem of living with Asperger for people? In terms of counselling, it can really help you to live more effectively with your Asperger struggles, because people that have Asperger, it's something they have to live with, but it can have give you positives as well as negatives in your life. So counselling can help you cope with the negative behaviour and the negative thoughts that you become conditioned through the life of Asperger that you've been experiencing. And one of the examples is that often people struggle with physical touch from other people. They find it difficult to understand what it means, and they don't understand whether it's a positive thing. So that is something that counselling can help you with, because physical touch is very important in terms of how we relate to other people and how we receive how they feel and what they think about us. So looking at helping you to understand why you become anxious, angry and aggressive when you're with other people for no apparent reason is very important, because you don't want to spend your life alone and people not wanting to be around you, because not because they're rejecting you, because they don't understand why you are behaving for no reason aggressively angry and anxious. So how you see the world and make sense of it, and having someone to help you with that is very important. And counselling can help you link those thoughts and those feelings and help you relate those thoughts and those feelings to your everyday life in the real world that you live. And it can help you to be able to, as we've said, show some affection instead of negatively responding to other people. So people are able to pick up the positive responses and the feelings that you have about them. And you will be able to do that by finding ways to express how and when you need that closeness, and that you're not going to be rejected. And then other people will be able to learn to respect your need for personal space when you don't want people close to you, and when you want your own space to help you feel more control in your life. So working through some of the negative behaviour that you're struggling with is very important. And for some people with Asperger, they're unable to express their thoughts and feelings. They find it very, very hard, and they end up biting people's hands, spitting, because of the high levels of anxiety that they are experiencing in their life. And this may, as I've said, cause other people to not wanting to be around them, and they feel rejected and let down. And they really need that help to build those positive relationships and to be able to express those feelings of stress and anxiety and frustration in positive ways. So finally, counselling can really help you learn to build positive, lasting relationships with others in a way that really is helpful for you and other people, and to help you get the most out of life. So I hope you've been able to understand and get something out of what I've been saying, and do take care of yourself, and I look forward to talking to you again in the future. Bye for now.